Okie dokie. So let's see. Hopefully, let me know if y'all can hear us. Cameron wanted to be here for live as well. So make sure. Let's see. Hold on. It looks like low. Let's turn that up. Okay. So definitely let me know if you can hear us. Okay. Hi, Velvet. So today is, what day is it? Okay, so today's Tuesday. I know it's Tuesday. It is, have to check my phone. That doesn't tell me. Oh, July the 7th. It is been crazy. Okay, so I don't know how y'all are, but especially this week in July is our birthday month. So a lot of family members have birthdays in July. So there is my nephew Lincoln and my father-in-law on July the 9th. Mine is July the 11th. Jeremy's is July the 12th. My sister-in-law Jamie's is on July the 25th. And then Aubrey's birthday is on July the 31st. So July is birthday after birthday. And especially this week because there's 4 birthdays this week alone. So it's kind of one of those crazy things. You can't really see with the way the lighting is and stuff on here where my wound is. You can still kind of see whenever I turn my head to the side how it's a little swollen and stuff. But makeup does not want to stick to it and is very shiny and pink. But the antibiotics that I was on definitely helped get rid of it faster. Thank goodness. Because you can ask Cameron, my whole side of my face was swollen and it was like, it was bad. Yeah. And it was like trying to explain to my husband, like it put so much pressure on my eyes. Like if I couldn't, I'm blind in my right eye. Y'all may or may not know this. I'm blind in my right eye. So I have no depth perception. I can only see blur out. It was like, I think this would make me feel like I can't see if I could see, if that makes sense. Kind of crazy. But yeah, as you can see, the studio area is pretty much set up. I'm still working on lighting and stuff like that. So we're getting there. Just to remind y'all what's going on this week is for the sale is my birthday sale because 7-Eleven. So it's 11% off your entire purchase on our website, which is linked in the description box. There is no code needed, but it does exclude kits and bundles. There are, and this is also a great, thank you, Kat. This is also a great time because we have been adding so many new products. And if you've been like waiting to order, because we still have free shipping on orders over $99 or more after discount, that you can get a lot of different things to try because we have, let's see, what all have we added? We've got Pearl, we got Puff, we've got heat and light sensitive, we've got the carbon fiber, the paint FX, plus all of the regular ones that we have. So there is a lot of new vinyls, which we're having fun with. So anyways, that's kind of where we are on everything. How are y'all? Any questions, concerns, comments? Did y'all watch Monday's video? Because one of the things I was worried about is, as you can see, there's a tripod set up over my heat press. So I would like to know how that worked as far as like the overview of, yes, Heather, you can use the discount on tools. It's just on kits and bundles. So it's like on separate pieces, but like if you got like the HTV tools kit, it would not be on there because it is already discounted. But I want to know what y'all think of the overhead view on the heat press, if that worked for y'all. So let me know, because we've been playing with a lot of things. So we're trying to get it set up so that way you can easily see everything that we're doing. That's the ideal situation with the camera setup. Sonic has the best drinks. This is cherry vanilla Coke Zero. So typically, as you can see, if you look behind me, I have lights. I have overhead lights too that we haven't put in place yet, that kind of hang down, that make it where there's lighting above. But once I kind of get the camera situation set up, then I worry about lighting, because I don't want to put the light somewhere and then change what we're doing. And then for the most part, I don't really have to worry about like my tripods, because like there's a tripod back there that does the overhead view over the heat press. Then I have the other tripod, or the other thing that's attached to that table that does overhead view when I'm weeding. And then there's another camera set up for like intros and outros. And then I record on the computer too. So I have lots and lots of camera equipment. And part of the thing is with it, the reason why I do that is that way hopefully y'all can get the best view and see what I'm doing, so that way you will learn the most, because it's a lot. And then I can always swap things around, like if I need to, like if I'm doing a big project and doing it on the floor. Well, it kind of depends on what you're wanting to do, Kat, and what kind of budget you have. Like whenever I first started out, it was just with my doing this. What is it? 3 years now?
2 or 3, yeah.
2.5, 3 years. So something like the tripod that I have, or the holder that is over the table, it attaches to the table. That works good. Oh, I'm glad you love the vinyl you ordered, Myra. I think we have good stuff. But yeah, no, that definitely helps. And you can always get like a single light. Amazon has a lot of good lights to help make things bright. But in here, it is actually, so lighting in this space is different than lighting my other space. And that's part of it, is like anytime you move or change setups, you got to change lighting and where your cameras are and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. Mm-hmm. You can talk. Cameron wanted to be on camera today, and then now he's not talking.
I don't know. I don't make the videos.
But yeah. So how are you doing?
Good.
My child. But anyways, yeah, so that's kind of where we are and all that fun kind of stuff. But I will be doing a new studio tour once we get everything finalized. I did take, if you can kind of see on my Workbox 3.0, I took and covered all of the plastic tubs. I put vinyl on those, so it's pretty. Trying to make all kinds of changes. And I've still got some things to hang on the walls and stuff like that, which I think he's handsome too. His hair is god awful long. He needs a haircut, but he wants to grow it out. So we're actually trying to let him grow it out while it's summer and see how it goes, because we went so long without a haircut. Well, and that's the thing, you know, Kat, it seems like I have a lot of space, but it is very easy for me to run out of space. I have so much stuff. So much stuff. It's crazy. But whenever you're doing all the different things, Nadia just came back in here. All the different things that I do, you kind of need a lot of room. But I mean, when we bought this building, that was one of the things. We had like this side. Okay, So when we opened up Cuttin Corners, we rented this side of the building, and it's about 2,000 square feet. And then the other side, which is where this room was just storefront. And as we grew, we ran out of space, and we had the option to buy the whole building, which made it where we have about 4,000 square feet altogether. But then we also have the production side, which is where we have like the big equipment for screen printing and stuff like that. So, which that building is 27,000 square feet. And there's still not enough room. Like, equipment is amazing, but it takes up so much space. Like, my setup for my cutting machines is crazy because I have 5 different cutters that are set up here, and then 3 printers right here. Well, actually, there's 4 because there's a direct to garment. So I have 4 computers hooked up, or 4 printers hooked up, and 5 cutting machines just to this computer.
And we also have the pre-treat.
What cutting machines? So I have the GCC iCraft. I have the Brother Scanning Cut. I have the Prism Cut. I have the Cricut Maker. I have the Silhouette Cameo. We also have a Graph Tech, which is a big machine, a Roland, I forget the model number, but it's a 24-inch plotter, and then a Suma cutter. So I have lots. But so and the thing is, like, the ones that are set up here are my main crafting machines, and then the bigger machines are what we use whenever we make big signs or stuff like this decal that's on the wall over there, to make big projects. Because, and like, we have several different printers too. Like, we have the direct to garment, we have the laser printer, we have what else? We have a HP latex printer and a Roland Eco Solvent. So a lot of this stuff is for crafting, and a lot of it I really don't show on camera because it isn't. I mean, this is the big production side of it. Before I got ever into doing crafting, I did this for a living. I've done this for a living for a long time, since before he's been born. So, I mean, that's part of it. That's why I have so much equipment. And that's why I started doing YouTube to begin with, is because when we opened up the vinyl store, because we had so many people come in and ask questions, I decided to do a video. And then Kaylin was like, hey, you can make money if you put your videos on YouTube. And we started doing YouTube. How did we get into it? Okay, so my mother and father-in-law started the sign company 16 years ago. And because a friend of theirs had a paint business, and he was always looking for someone to cut vinyl for masks and stuff like that. And they were wanting to get out of corporate jobs, and they decided, well, we'll try this, and started doing signs and stuff like that. So I went to work for them to help them out, enjoyed it. And then, what was it? You were in preschool. We had the option to buy out a screen print company. So that was 9 years ago. And so me and my husband went into business with my mother and father-in-law once we bought the screen print business, and started making huge bulk orders of screen print. And then a few years ago, 4 years ago, 4 years and a month actually, we opened Cuttin Corners, which is this business, which is selling vinyl and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we still do all the bulk stuff. But the reason why we opened this is at the sign shop, we would get questions, calls all the time about people wanting to purchase like our scrap vinyl, because Cricuts and silhouettes and things like that were getting so popular. And it's like, well, why don't we open up a store for it? So that's kind of where it came from. And where my crafting stuff came from is, before I ever even started doing YouTube and stuff like that, being a classroom mom and things like that, I would make teacher gifts and things like that. And that's where I got into making crafts, because I can't draw. I can't paint. Like, I can paint solid stuff, but I'm not like a painter in the least little bit. I guess we have some new adhesive glitters coming, Heather. So hand me the thin book. So, because we have the pressure sensitive glitters that have the texture to them, but we get questions a lot for a still shiny but smooth glitter. We are adding these, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but these are very, very sparkly. Now, you're probably not going to pick up on the camera on here, but they are really, really pretty. But yeah, no. But, and yes, it's entrepreneurial, but, oh, I know, I love glitter. I mean, as you can tell, there's glitter everywhere. And I even use pressure sensitive glitter on the cubbies because I like the sparkle. And I wanted it where I didn't have to worry about the glitter and stuff coming off. But yes, it's entrepreneurial, but like, I can be brave in that aspect because my husband, like, I don't have to depend on me for my art income, if that makes sense. So it was a little bit easier to take the leap to open a business and stuff like that because he works outside of the family company. I don't know if he didn't work outside, if I would have wanted to jump outside and like work outside, like start my own business. Are there glitter stretch? No, not really. But we're constantly looking at different products and trying to add more and more things to the store and show y'all how to use them, because I think it's extremely interesting, because even if it's not something you can use right now, it might be something you can use down the line. Yes, it was extremely scary the first time I got on camera, and it still is. The best way to say it is I still, like, my videos are really, really slightly edited because I can't stand to watch myself, like, at all. So I don't like to watch it, so it's cut, and that's it. If I had to sit there and watch it, I don't know if I would have ever posted it. It's kind of like, and that's how I was in school and stuff like that too. Like, if I had to write a story or anything like that, I'm such a perfectionist that I would go back, and every time I would reread it, I would change things, and I would never want it to be something that I turned in because it was never good enough. So I had to learn to stop looking at things and just do it, because I know how bad it is, like how I am about that. Yes, we did design all of the watercolors. Susie, I did not, but my artist did. Brandy. I mean, it's not so, I mean, it's stuff I can design myself, but if you pay someone to do it, might as well let them do it. Hi, Latrina. But yeah, no, that's kind of how it is. For quarantine for me, I don't know how it is for y'all, but like, all the days are running together. I can't believe it is already July. I'm going crazy. Mm-hmm. Very crazy. I want to be able to get out and do stuff, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit there and go to the museums or anything like that because we're supposed to be socially distancing and all that kind of stuff. Yes, isn't it pretty? Like, and I love unique stuff. That's like my thing. If you'll notice, like, And one of the things is, like, I don't care if you purchase from us. I mean, trust me, we're a small business. We love it and appreciate it when you do. But that's not why I do this. Like, I enjoy playing with vinyl. I enjoy the new stuff. I get excited over that. Like, and maybe that's because my personality, like, I get bored looking at the same old all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, as you can tell, I have excessive amounts of everything. Oh, I can imagine, Heather. Like, I couldn't imagine being a nurse. Those are things that I never wanted to do. Just like, what worried me, because I had considered going to school to be a nurse, was what if, like, because I wouldn't want to work in a doctor's office. That's too boring to me. But like working in a hospital, what if they brought in someone that, like, my family? I don't know how I would react. And that was like, nope, I don't think that's the job for me. And Kat, it is brave to turn your side hustle into a business because of lockdown. But I mean, now if you've considered it, if you're at home, you might as well take the plunge, or at least try to do it a little bit more. Oh, 4.5-year-old. I talk to my husband about that. Like, I miss having the kids little, but then I don't, if that makes sense. Like, I loved having them as babies. And I've talked about, well, possibly more babies, but then I'm like, wait, my nephew Aubrey is fixing to be 4, and he is a handful. And I'm like, that's why I don't want, like, no, I don't think I want any more. I don't want to have to deal with that anymore. I mean, that sounds bad, doesn't it? But Jiminy Cricket, I'm tired. Like, I dealt with all that already. Like, all of it. So much. Huh. You know, my youngest, this one, is 13, and he's independent. Like, my kids are independent. Like, I have raised them to be very independent. They pay for stuff. They help. The 2 older ones that are adults, they help with a lot of things, because I think that kids need to know how to pay for things. But I don't want to have to deal with that again. You know, once they start to take care of themselves, do you want to go back to having to do everything? I sure don't. I don't know. And maybe it's because, like, I have always been like a super involved mom. Like, all 3 of my kids can tell you, I have been in PTA and stuff their entire lives, homeroom mom, and at all of their plays and performances and games and, class parties and all that kind of stuff, field days. I have spent so much time that it's like, I need a break. Well, Susie, it kind of depends. My biggest tip is, I'm trying to think, what is the biggest tip I can give to someone starting this is learn to say no. And your friends and family are going to take advantage of you more than anybody else. So watch out for that. Don't undervalue your time, because that will happen. And people are going to do it because they're like, hey, it's easy for you. No, this is still work. And I've said this in plenty of videos, that if I'm going to take my time away from my family, I better be getting paid for it. And that might sound conceited or money hungry, but this is work. Even doing YouTube, this is all part of my job. So if I'm not making money at it, then why am I doing it? Because this one is more important than, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm working, I want it to be so that way I can provide for them, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be able to provide for them, to be able to take them on vacation, do fun things with them. Oh, yeah, and I got bills to pay too. And I have expensive habits. Have you not seen my eyeshadow palette collection? But yeah. Well, and see, like Heather, like my sister-in-law, as I said, her baby is 4. So I get that toddler fix. Naughty is not anywhere ready for kids yet because, she's just fixing to be 20. And we were talking about that the other day. Like, she might be in the mood or possibly thinking about kids by the time Cameron graduates, because it's in another 5 years or so. But even then, that's like, it's scary. Always so scary. Hobbies and well, and see, for y'all, I know for y'all that the vinyl stuff is either your hobby or it's your business, and that's why y'all watch. But like, it's work to me. So if my fun stuff is makeup and clothes and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that I enjoy. That's if I'm watching YouTube, I'm not sitting there watching crafting channels, if that makes sense, because that's not my interest. And it's not because I know everything about it. It's just, if I'm watching, that feels like work to me. Does that make sense? So if I want to do something, I want things that are some way to decompress. Let me tell you, Kat, don't feel weird charging friends and family. Because again, those are the people who are normally going to take advantage of you most. And you need to realize that. I mean, and I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just, they don't value your time. Period. I mean, some people will, but it's funny because I have run across more people, friends and family, like, who expect you to do it for free, or maybe just charge for materials, but have no issue going and spending, $100 on food. Well, Julius, no, it's really not. I mean, like, I really do enjoy what I do, but there are certain times that I have to decompress too. Coming at you from all over the place. Look at me. Yes. And that's, it is so important to have a chance to, have some time and figure out what you enjoy doing. Because the thing is, as much as I love doing this, I have to have a way to decompress. Because even if you love what you're doing, if you do it too much or do it too much of your time, even if you love it, it's not fun anymore. If that makes sense. Like, when we first started doing Cuttin Corners, and like, we were really busy with the storefront and really busy with custom stuff, and we didn't have employees. And then I was doing YouTube, and it became emotional overload. Even though I loved doing parts of it, I hated doing it because it was too much of the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, there was no break for it. I would get to the shop so that way I could film and stuff at 7:00 in the morning or whatever time after I dropped them off. And then I would go home at 7:00 at night, cook dinner, do all that stuff, and then come back to be able to finish custom stuff and then not leave till 10, 11, 12 o'clock. So it was so many hours of doing the same thing where it was like overwhelming. And that's the time you can get burned out. So that's what I'm saying is, to keep that burnout from happening, you need to make sure that the people that you're going to get paid to do what you're doing, because if you're not going to make what's worth your time, there's no point in doing it, because you're not going to get back the time with your kids or your family. Yes, and that's true, Heather. It's all about balance. All about balance. And I'm not good at balance. He'll tell you. How am I? Am I an all or nothing kind of person?
Sort of.
Am I involved in like everything under the sun?
Yeah.
Am I good at telling people no?
No.
See, and this is the things like, I'll tell y'all to do this, but I ain't good at practicing what I preach at all. I'll be the first one to admit it. And he'll tell you too. So will my husband, my other kids, that I'm just not good at it. I mean, but I can tell you what to do, you know. That's the mom in me. See, Kat, and that's part of it is my husband's the same way, but you know, you do what you gotta do. You gotta hustle. You know, you're not gonna get anywhere from not doing it. Oh, I enjoy making all things. Like we're fixing to work on some tie-dye stuff. Like I want to do it all. And that's the Heather, you're right about that. It's like, especially I had to learn on certain things, especially with school stuff, to say no a little bit because I was getting so overwhelmed. Like I did PTA president and classroom, homeroom mom, and running a business. And it was like, and then I would have other people that were stay-at-home moms, and then I felt like they weren't pulling their weight, but they expected more. I mean, it was like, wait, why am I picking up the slack for everyone? And I did have to learn to turn down positions and things like that because my husband said if I was like PTA president again, he would divorce me. Not really, but like he wouldn't actually do that. But I mean, it was that much of a strain on our relationship because between work and all that kind of stuff, it was just too much. So for us, you know, I mean, and that's part of it is now I do try to stop at the end of the day and not look at like my phone and all that kind of stuff and just spend the quality time after I leave work. Like try to have designated hours. Now, and I understand that there are certain times a year, especially in like these types of businesses, where you can't do that. So you have to learn to do it when you can. Oh yeah, no, my husband's amazing. He's butthead, but he's amazing. I mean, I'll be the first to admit it. And the reason why I say he's butthead, I mean, it's not because he actually is. It's because he's like, you need to do this, and it's because I don't want to listen. I mean, that's the truth, huh? I mean, and that's part of it. Yes, mom guilt is hard enough. It's like, and I feel bad if I can't be the perfect mom. Like, it's like one of those things I tell my kids. It's like, there are certain things I know in life. I'm not perfect in the least little bit, but I think I'm a darn good mom. So, and that's one thing I can definitely say. Hi, Anna. Oh, Anna, just to let you know, be on the lookout. Kits have shipped. They shipped on the 3rd. Yeah, Friday. So I know you're in Canada and it takes a little while to get there. So just kind of be on the lookout. And it is crazy. Let me tell you something, Anna, because I know you had mentioned to me the other day about how long it took to get to Canada, because right now with quarantine and everything, certain things are taking forever. Like I have a package that I'm still waiting to get to me from Canada, but I got something that I ordered from Germany and was shipped after that I've already gotten. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of funny, Kat. We were watching Stepford Wives the other day. I'm like, how do you do it? Oh, good, Heather. I'm glad that you get notifications. I know some people get them and some people don't. Don't know why, but we do ship them all at the same time. But we watched the 2004 version of Stepford Wives the other day. And I was like, how do you do it? For me, there's always something that I'm not doing, like that I am not doing well enough, if that makes sense. Or at least that's how, I mean, and my husband, my kids are supportive, but I feel like that in my heart of hearts. Like, there's always going to be something I'm going to drop the ball on. And if I've got everything else going, then it's typically something for self-care for me. But anyways, I am actually fixing to let y'all go because I've been on here for 35 minutes and I'm starting to get a little bit of a headache. Oh, that's awesome, Anna. Yeah, the wooden picks are amazing. Yeah, I think all women do. I mean, well, not all women, but I think the majority of women put that pressure on themselves because, you know, you get raised that women are supposed to be a certain way and they're supposed to do a certain thing. And then in today's society, you know, for people to have a semi-decent life, a lot of times it takes both parents to work. So then you still have all the pressure. So it's kind of a lot. Oh yeah, Heather, I'm feeling much, much, much better. If you kind of look, I don't know, you can see slightly the bump is still there from where my infection was. Because if you want to know what happened, I had a pimple. I popped it, got a staph infection. Once you have a staph infection, if you don't know this, it is much easier to get a staph infection. I got a staph infection a few years ago from stepping on a nail. And since then, I've gotten a few staph infections. So be careful of it. And if you have an autoimmune disease, which I have fibromyalgia, infections, when you get stressed, it adds to it. So, but even then, like, thank goodness for bright lighting because no makeup or anything is wanting to stick to that. And on this, you can't really tell, but it is like shiny and pink. How can you send me a personal message? Latrina, if you in the description box, my email is in there. You can take and send me a message through my email. It's cuttincornersvinyl@gmail.com. So anyways, I'm going to let y'all go. Got to get ready to close up the store and all that fun kind of stuff. But we shall see y'all mañana for a new tutorial. Bye. Lucky dokie.